just back. Just whoop, 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 whoop. Watch what you're doing there, old man. We're just back after restart. We check the boathouse again. There's something there. Hey, fishing pole. So we're going to put this in our inventory, show up below by the tackle box. And we're going to check the rest of this out here on these flat boards. PVC box. Oh, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Gotta slow down here. Sometimes you have to move the camera to be able to see what's up there without crawling up there. When you come off that top ladder, it's an arrow. Nope, box of screws. So there's a box of screws. There was a fishing pole and a PVC box. There's usually something there, something around that walk. Sometimes they'll get sneaky and they'll put them out here on the center too. Very rarely. And then up above. But to show you something here, you can climb this ladder, but when you come back down off of it, you fall into the water. No biggie. Second try fishing pole. Sometimes you might have to come back every 20 minutes till loot respawns. I've done it for 3 hours to get a fishing pole. Word about the fishing pole here, and I'll be talking a lot about it. If you give me my choice between having night vision or a fishing pole, one or the other, but never both, I'll take the fishing pole over night vision every day. Every time. It's that powerful of a tool in the game. So this is the boathouse on the island. I'll get you the name of it here in a second, down by Camishovo on the shore. Right across from the med tents that are on the road. We just use those burn barrels to cook our food. Usually animals down here. We did our little swim. Temperature's not too bad. It's holding up mighty darn good. Not even close to being hypothermic. But I still want to do the same thing over again. We're going to run up to the coast to the east. I'll probably edit this for time. And we're going to swim to Skalisty Island and check out their boathouse. Rather than take the boat. If I took the boat, it'd be showing you the easy way. But I'd rather not do that because not everybody's going to have a boat that's fully fixed at their disposal. And I'll be doing a lot on boats later on in a couple more videos. One thing that's a couple things that are unique about a boat. The large fishing boats have 200 slots, 50 for weapons, 200 for items. So they can hold an awful lot. The boat we just saw earlier was a small fishing boat. I think it can hold 50 items and about 10 guns, a few backpacks. So they hold gear, but the thing that is unique about them is that the only item that can go bad, the only part that can go bad on a boat is the engine. So once you find engine parts and fix it up, you're good to go. There's no glass, there's no scrap metal, there's no wheels, of course, and all that other stuff, that other parts that you need, like you would for a helicopter, which takes a lot of parts, or a vehicle to fix it up. Just find engine parts and you're good. And you need a fuel can. And they all have running lights on them. You have your port and starboard running lights on the side, and then you have a searchlight on the front. So those can help you at night. They can help you park at night, get into your little beach cove. And you can also, I've used the searchlights to have people locate me when they need a ride. It used to just be a thing that I did where if I was down along the beach and heading across the water anyway to get where I'm going, if there's new players on the beach and they need a ride by a boat, I'll offer free boat rides. A lot of people do that with helicopters too. They love flying helicopters. There's Skalisty Island, just up from the town of Camishovo in Med-Tent. Good. 3 zombies following me now. But a lot of guys would, they love flying, they love helping people out, making new friends. They're taking a real risk. Ooh. Do not want to pass up this big fella right here. In case you didn't know, it's what's for dinner. So let me get rid of these zombies now. Key on me, guys. Over here, over here. Here you go. Nope. There you go. Oh, it didn't despawn, did it? Mm-hmm. Do. Oh, I lost all that beef. I'm good on food, but it's always nice to stock up. And a nice rainy, cloudy day. Who doesn't want steak by a campfire? That's okay. We just may be eating tuna tonight. Fresh tuna fillet. So anyway, back to my story there. The cow despawned on me. A lot of people give helicopter rides. Or plane rides. I played on a server that was player versus player with friends of mine. One kid named Pepe or Pedro, I think his name was Pedro, he would come onto that server and it was player versus player. People shooting each other left and right. Everybody having a good time. You spawn in real quick, you grab a gun, and you just... it's almost like a King of the Hill type thing. See who can survive the longest, and it's really fun, and we're going to get into those servers later on. Young Pedro, though, he liked the planes. That's all he liked, was flying the planes. So he wouldn't even shoot anybody, wouldn't even hunt anybody down. All he wanted to do was fly those planes. So he would come into the game, and while everybody else was, trying to get guns and gear and sneak around on everybody and shoot and snipe people and get good weapons and scopes, all he did was head straight for a plane. He knew where they spawned in at. He would get his plane and he would spend hours just flying above us, never really getting involved in the player versus player aspect of it. And he would offer free rides all of the time. That was his thing. So who knows, maybe he'll grow up to be a pilot someday. I think he's a kid. I don't know. He could be a 40-year-old man for all I know. But Pedro loved flying planes. So most of the guys on there appreciated that on the player versus player server, and they kind of left Pedro alone. Let him do his flying, let him give people rides, let him have his fun. It was kind of like our mascot there for a while. So we're headed up here. We're going to take the swim to Skalisty Island so I can show it to you. And I want to show you about several things. I want to eat first. A little low on food. Self-care. Take care of yourself first. Looking for one soda. Now here's a tip. You can take, if you think it's going to be too cold, you can take a thermal heat pack with you. and right click on it and use it. That'll help keep your body temperature up. And the second tip is, before you make this long swim, when you don't know how cold the water's going to be, the tide's a little high and it's a little stormy out. Usually the water's pretty calm, but now we got these swells coming in which kind of work against you a little bit swimming. So what I do is hit the up arrow or the W key to move your player forward and jam a toothpick in there. It's what I call the pick run. And then you can make the swim hands-free and have your coffee and soda and chips and popcorn and everything else. One tip that I was going to mention here is make sure that you have matches and firewood on you, because sometimes you'll get so cold that hypothermia will start to set in, and you got to be able to heat yourself up. Especially, it's a lot like real life. When you're, or mimics real life, when it's raining, you're more likely to lose body temperature, and at nighttime when it's raining, it's the time where you're most likely to freeze. But it's not that bad of a swim. It's just a few minutes here. So I'd like to make sure I have matches. Heat packs if you don't have your matches, or your thermal buddy, whatever they call it, on your heat pack. If you don't have matches and wood, you can have your heat pack. There is a third way, without matches, without firewood, without an axe, and without a heat pack. And that is to warm your body up by exercise before you start swimming. Here's a tip that most people don't know. You can increase your own body heat by activity, much like in real life, including running in place. And I'll show that to you in a little bit, but running, if you watch that thermometer, will raise your body temperature. So the more you run, the better off you are. Just make sure you have a lot of food with you, because of course running depletes your food and your thirst. So you can see a little bit better on the temperatures, the HUD in the bottom right hand corner of temperature. There's two chevrons pointing down, and you can see that that solid pink bar is dropping. Temperature's dropping pretty fast. One chevron a little bit fast, two is faster, three, I'm not sure if they have three on here, but it's dropping pretty good. And then it would be the opposite, with the chevrons pointing up, or those white little arrows pointing up as you gain heat, 1, 2, or 3 chevrons. Usually to increase 3 chevrons at a time, you got to be by a fire, and you'll warm up pretty quick. Now you can see it just dropped there again. So now we're down to that fuchsia, which is not quite purple, depending on how it's rendering on your screen. It's not pink anymore. We used to have a pretty strong pinkish color. Now this is important, and I know people are going to tease me about this pink and fuchsia and mauve and what other colors, lavender, to describe it, but it's very, very important. Like I said, I've had players that play for 2 years in this game and never see blue on their thermometer, so they never thought it existed in the game. You have to push the limits of your temperature, your running, your food, and your water to know what you're dealing with. So don't be afraid to do that in game. Test it out. How far can you run without water? Most people don't know. I can make it from Cherno to the Northwest Airfield, or at least the well in Vybor. From Cherno to the Northwest Airfield is 9,100 meters without a drink and without any food. It's nice that if you have that stuff, you can take it with you as you go, but it's not necessary, and that's a big part of what I'm going to show people here, is how to run on the map well. Once you have, and I'll go back and say it over and over again, once you have a knife, an axe, water bottle, and matches, you can go anywhere you want in this game with those 4 things. Those are my 4 probably more prized possessions. I won't say most prized, because the most prized possession is this dang fishing pole I got. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. So now we've lost that pink on the thermometer. It turned to sort of like this mauve color, fuchsia, whatever they call it there, that which really isn't pink, really isn't blue, but now it's turned to a purple. I can definitely see purple on there. The temperature is still dropping, and now we're down to the circle. Still got a little bit of a swim to go, but it's all good. But you'll never be able to survive a swim like this, especially if you get over here and realize, oh, I don't have any matches, I don't have an axe on me, or I lost my axe. What am I going to do to heat myself up now? No axes, no match, no firewood. Well, there's plenty of things you can still do. A few. Get out of the weather. Mimics real life. Get inside a house. One trick is, and I'll show you this trick later on, and I used it in my first 3 weeks ever playing Dayz in a hangar at the Northwest Airfield. Put your character's nose in the corner and run. And keep running. Or, if you're in the hangar, run around in circles. You do 200 laps in a hangar, it'll keep you from freezing at night. That's the first way I found. Just run in circles. Stay out of the rain and run in circles. Now we just went to off that purple to where it's more of, you'd say it's a little bit more blue. And now it's flashing. So now you have blue flashing. And we're going to stay in the water here a little bit longer. Now you can see there's a half a crescent blue flashing. I don't want to push this too far because I don't want my character to die. So we went from a full bar to where it started dropping down to pink, down to this fuchsia, this purplish color, down to a blue circle, flashing blue crescent. My feet are still in the water. When it's flashing blue like this, you're in a pretty big danger area, but it is not the lowest you can go. When this half crescent, sideways crescent, I don't know what else to call it, that is flashing blue in the bottom right hand corner, when it gets to the outside, see right there, it got to the outside, and look at the 2 chevrons, that you have about 2 minutes to live when it gets to the outside, and you'll see that it's still flashing, but I'm not losing any heat or losing it as fast as I was. So we're going to come up here and make a campfire. Now we have about 90 seconds to live. There's just a little bit of blue. Now you'll see the 3 chevrons going up. And now you'll see all those stages in reverse. It went from outside the thermometer's bulb to inside the thermometer's bulb. Flashing blue. And while we're doing that, we're going to switch gear around. We're going to take the axe, put it on the bottom, add the tool belt. Oh, it won't do it because I don't have room in the inventory. So what I need to do is I need to take this axe, or this one, oh, it already did. It already added it in. So it added it into my backpack. Extra axe in the backpack. We're going to add this to the tool belt, and we're going to remove from the tool belt and add the fishing pole. Now, move the fishing pole up to in your hands. Now you can see that we're in a fishing pole on the left here. We'll choose it by scrolling. Fishing pole. Now you can see we're back into this fuchsia color. And 3 chevrons is all you can get here. So scroll on it. Click down cast fishing pole. Hit the action key. And then we'll say at the bottom, you cast your line over 41 yards. Nibble, nibble. Nibble, nibble. Nibble, 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 nibble. Give the line a little pull. Nibble, nibble. Give the line a little pull. Nibble, nibble. Nibble, nibble. Give the line a little pull. Nibble, nibble. Nibble, nibble. You didn't catch anything. So now we're going to cast again. Scroll and cast down. Cast out 39 yards. Nibble, nibble. I'll save you from reading all that stuff out. Now you can see that it's starting to come up the on a thermometer on the right, and it changed color. Now you can definitely say that's more pink than any other color. And we caught a steelhead. So we're going to cast the pole again. It put the steelhead in the inventory. And you want to keep your hands off the keyboard and the mouse while you're doing this, because you have to let the animation play through. I know that I've said it 1,000 times, let the animation play through, but you would be surprised at how much you will not do that when you're in an emergency situation. I did not catch anything. We're going to cast again. Now the thermometer is full. That's what is the color, the same color you start the game with when you land on the beach. It is pink and it is full. At least that's what they want you to think. That is not a full thermometer. That is not the highest temperature you can get. Totally snug, cozy, and warm. I didn't catch anything again, so I'm going to cast my fishing pole. Now, steelhead, cooked, 1,000 blood points. Sea bass, cooked, 1,600 blood points. Tuna, cooked, 2,400 blood points. Great for an infection. We caught another steelhead there, it tells us. So we're going to cast again. It's putting it right in the menu for me, which we can go into the menu. You can see the 2 steelhead down here. Chicken steak or whatever that was, and the pork. They're still raw. Now the thermometer is really going to a slightly darker pink. I didn't catch anything, but we got 2 steelhead, so that's 2,000 blood points. If you have 12,000 blood points, 5 tuna, 4 tuna, you're golden. So it's better than running around trying to get 400 out of a sheep or a goat for each piece of meat. 4 pieces of meat, that's 1,600 blood points. Hell, that's only, 1 sea bass. And you can carry less in your backpack too. So they're great for emergencies. They're great for helping friends out who are very, very low on blood. If you can say, hey, I'll meet you down there, I can run down there in 10 minutes. When we swing by my stash, I'll bring you some fish. You can bring somebody's blood up amazingly fast. And this, I swear, is one of my favorite things to do in Dayz is to listen to the shore. It's better on a sunny day. It's great at night. I just want to check. I have 2 more slots open. It'll let the fish go if you catch more than you have open slots. So you got to remember to keep shifting stuff. Once it gets full in your main inventory, shift it back to your backpack. So we successfully made our swim. We made our fire. The temperature gauge went down as low as, that's the final drop that we were at, was the flashing chevron outside. After that, you got about 120 seconds to live, and then you're dead from hypothermia. Now we're looking at the thermometer. That's not pink anymore. You can clearly see that is red. It may be hard for you to see. That's red there. If you move too much while you're fishing, it'll cancel the action. Say your fishing has been canceled or whatever. So once again, you see the thermometer, pink is not what you, or pink is what you start the game with, not this red. And now it's turning from a red into what you call a bright red, blood red, candy apple red, whatever. But that is a brighter red. We didn't catch anything again, so we're going to fish. Also, the fishing pole can be used as a melee weapon. So if you have your fishing pole out, you don't need to fumble around for a gun to fight zombies or oh my gosh, I got to get out my axe or anything. You can actually whip them to death with a fishing pole. As bad as that sounds, it works. It's not as good as an axe or a crowbar. Didn't catch anything again. Slow day of fishing. Sometimes you'll catch 15 fish in 10 minutes. And we caught another steelhead. And I think I'm going to pack this up now. It's 3 steelhead. So we're going to add this back to the tool belt. Verify that it's saved. Add the axe back to our back. Switch to our axe in hand. Bob's your uncle. There we go. Gear. Take a good look at these 3 fish here. I wish I could blow that up a little bit. Cook food. Now the pork and the other meat I had in there were already cooked. So now it's cooking the fish and it will tell me you have cooked 3 steelhead. So we'll move away from the fire so we don't accidentally put it out, and you'll see that they look charred with the old X pattern that the steak has. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,800 plus another 4,200 in blood points. My blood is at 12,000 now, so it's as high as it can get, so we'll save them for emergencies. So we're going to take off here in just a little bit. I just want to show you one more thing. There's a house over here on the end of the island, which usually is a helicopter spawn. A cell phone tower on top of this hill. Then the rest of the island is completely empty except for a small group of houses with its own fresh water well at the other end. I just want to stay by the fire just a little bit longer. I know this may be a little bit boring now that we're done fishing. But I can tell you a few more things while we're waiting to see how deep this red's going to go on here. There's a lighthouse, and for new players, one of the biggest mistakes they make is coming in the game, asking people for help, and when they're asked, where are you at? I'm near a lighthouse. That doesn't help anybody. There are at least 6 lighthouses here. They're all at the beach, so you could be anywhere from here. Where we're at is right here on Skalisty Island, but the Kroitoi Cap has a lighthouse. Otmel has a lighthouse. I believe, I'm not sure if Draken does, but there are lighthouses. Here's a lighthouse right here. So they're here, 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 all the way over to Kamenka. There's 6 lighthouses all the way. So that's a big area of the map. You could be here all the way around to here. Thousands, 10,000 meters. Somebody could be looking for you. So to say, oh, I'm near a lighthouse, you got to be, and we always get on people. There's the end of the fire, and you can see temperature's going back down. I actually overheated myself. And that's what I like to do. Sometimes you won't get quite this red, flame red, and it actually goes deeper than that. I wish I could have showed you, but I don't want to bore you with another fire. There's a shipwreck over here. I won't show you every single thing on here because I want there to be some surprises for you. But this is a good opportunity for me to show you the swim, show you the full range of the thermometer, about warming yourself up and fishing. show you a little bit of the island and the boathouse and some looting over here.